For those of y'all who don't know me, my name is Mrs. Fell, and I'm one of the 3 school counselors at Coastal Middle School. Today we're going to talk a little bit about our Soar program. So for those who are not new to Coastal Middle School, this will be a little bit of a refresher plus some new information. If you're new to Coastal Middle School, and especially our 6th grade, welcome, and we will hear a little bit about the Soar program. So what we're going to do is watch 2 short videos. The first one is the video that I produced last year, and this is what we would have watched if we were face-to-face and in the building. But I think it's important that we watch it because we will be face-to-face and we will be in the building together. We just don't know when. And then Ms. Clanton, who most of you know, who is a 6th grade ELA teacher, has added to that so that we can talk about what Soar looks like during e-learning and our virtual time together. So here is 2 videos, again, about our Soar program that explains what it is, what it looks like when we're in the building, and what it looks like when we're learning online.
SOAR is an acronym, and it stands for Show Respect, Open-Minded, Accept Responsibility, and Reflect. In this session, we'll talk about what that looks like and how you get rewarded for that. You may have noticed that in all of our classrooms and throughout the building, we have posted our school creed. This is also something we recite as a school body every morning. Our school creed is, as a Coastal Seahawk, I will show respect to everyone. I will be open-minded, I will accept responsibility for my actions, and I will reflect on my choices. This is not something we just say each morning. It is something we strive to live each day here at Coastal Middle School. So what is SOAR exactly? SOAR is positive behavior focus. We want all of us to be thinking about how can we soar in the classroom, during connections, in the hallway, at lunch, with friendships, at sporting events, anywhere we are in the community. We want to have a positive behavior focus. When we do this, it does create a safer and more effective environment. We're able to learn, not only academically, but socially and emotionally, how to be a good citizen. It is also a system of clear school-wide expectations. You will see again throughout the building a matrix of what each of the letters that compile SOAR mean in each area of the school. How can we soar in the hallway, in the lunchroom, in the classroom, on the bus? And we'll look at some details of that in just a moment. When sometimes maybe we're having a rough day or something's happened and we're not soaring quite like we need to, it also helps give us some guidance where we need to go and helps the adults in the building figure out what we can do to assist our students so that they're soaring again. And of course, when we do soar, we've got some great recognition and celebration of that success. So what does SOAR do for you? It rewards you for your positive behavior. You can earn things such as school supplies, free seating in the cafeteria with your friends, dress down days, open gym time, and more. And again, we'll detail that in a moment. It also helps to get those interventions needed quickly so that we can refocus if we are having some negative behaviors. It can help through teacher-student conference, parent contacts, reflective and learning lunches, as well as parent conferences and possibly administrative referrals. So how does SOAR work? Well, as we said, it is a set of rules and expectations. It is throughout the building for all students. So when you do meet those rules and expectations, you're acknowledged through shells. And again, as I've mentioned, if it's something that a student has not followed the rules, there's also a guideline in place to help us get back on track. Here's an overall matrix of what it looks like to show respect, be open-minded, accept responsibility, and reflect throughout our building. As you will travel through the building, you will see that there are matrices set up specifically for the cafeteria, the restrooms, the hallways, the break areas, and the bus. So those are detailed in those areas. So what is a Seahawk shell? When you are soaring and you are demonstrating these positive behaviors, you can earn shells. And a shell is just that. It's the acknowledgement that you're doing the right thing, that you're meeting expectations, or in some cases, you're going above and beyond the expectations that we've set. And of course, we all love to see that. Teachers can acknowledge you by giving you a shell on our website. We also have an app that many of our teachers use, and so it is calculated and kept electronically for us, and teachers, parents, and students can have access to see that. As we begin our school year a little later on, we'll be sure and get students set up so that they not only can see their shell balance, but also redeem for themselves, which is something new this year. So we'll get into that in a few weeks. If by chance you're with someone that's not normally in our building, for example, a substitute, a bus driver, or a visitor, they are also able to give you a shell in your agenda, so it's very important that you always have your agenda with you. And then you can turn that paper agenda and show that to your homeroom teacher, and then they're able to enter those shells electronically so that it adds to your balance. Then in just a moment, we'll talk about how to redeem your shells for different things that you'd like on redeem days. So, as a reminder, when consistent, students will be recognized for that positive, appropriate behavior that's represented on our matrix.
Hey y'all, it is Miss Clanton, and we are going to quickly go over how you can soar online. So, at CMS we Soar. Our 7th and 8th graders, unless you are new to the building, you know all about Soar. For our 6th graders, it has to do with our shells that we earn and can redeem for things. We will earn those shells still while we're online, and I know Ms. Fell is telling us a little bit more about that. But in order to earn those shells, we SOAR. So the S stands for show respect, the O for open-minded, the A for accept responsibility, and the R for reflect. Now that we're doing virtual learning, some of y'all might have just heard me say we're still earning shells and thought, whoa, how are we going to earn shells online? Well, it is because we can still soar online, and we're going to go over how we do each of these things. So how to show respect online. Make sure you're dressed, sitting up, and focused when you log on for class. We know that you would rather stay in your pajamas because we would rather stay in our pajamas too. But we want to make sure that we are dressed professionally for class. It can be still something comfortable, but pajamas aren't professional. We can be comfortable and professional right now. You might see me down at the bottom. I've got just a black t-shirt on. It's comfy, but I am still dressed and presentable. Sitting up, I'm in a chair. Some of y'all may be working in your rooms if that's the most quiet place to work. You might have to sit on your bed, but you should still be sitting up and focused when you log on because that's showing respect to your teacher who's put a lot of time and effort into putting that lesson together for the day. During live classes, stay muted if you're not speaking. So easy to do, yet also so easy to forget. Make sure that unless your teacher has called on you to speak, you're muted, or else we're going to hear all your background noise. Some of y'all right now might be hearing my background noise in my house of my kittens playing with their toys. And we don't want to hear all that if someone else is trying to speak or teach. During live classes, only make comments in the video and the chat that are relevant to the lesson. This is being respectful to your teacher who's trying to give the best possible virtual lesson they can, as well as your classmates who are trying to pay attention. If you are making comments out loud that have nothing to do with the lesson or typing things over in the chat that have nothing to do with the lesson, that's really disrespectful to your teacher who's trying to keep everyone focused on learning, and it's disrespectful to your classmates to distract them when they're trying to focus as well. And then respond to your teacher and your classmates with kindness, compassion, and patience. I know that a lot of us are frustrated where we're having to learn new things as far as learning new online platforms, and we don't have all of our friends and teachers right there with us to support us. But try and be patient with your classmates and your teachers when you are responding to them. Make sure that you are still being nice and respectful. How to be open-minded online. Give your full attention to the lesson and try to avoid distractions. So that's being open-minded by just going into the lesson, giving it your all, making sure that you are assuming the best. Don't assume it's going to be boring and that you'd rather be playing Fortnite. And so you just kind of drift off into the distance and start messing with your phone. We want to be open-minded about how awesome this virtual lesson is going to be. Put our phones away, have our pets maybe laying next to us or in the background, but we're not petting them and loving on them, focusing on the lesson. Participate in the lesson by volunteering to answer questions and respond to classmates. When we're not in class, sometimes we feel like we can just kind of sit there on video and get overlooked. But we still want to be open-minded about virtual learning and participate to the best of our abilities, and volunteering to answer questions is a way to do that. Give your best effort to assignments and ask questions if you need help. Same thing as participating in the lesson. We don't want to think, oh, we can just, click, 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 submit. Make sure you're actually giving your best effort to everything that you do. That way you can learn the most that you can. And of course, ask for questions if you need help. Don't just submit it wrong. Try and find answers to questions on your own when you're able to. Remember, you're probably not the only one that has a question. So if you can go back and find the answer to your question in the notes, or if you're having trouble with a math problem and you can look up a tutorial online, those are all excellent ways that you can go and find the answer to that question on your own. And that way, whoever your teacher is can give their attention to questions that can't be figured out on their own. That being said, of course, if you can't figure out the answer on your own, please ask your teacher. How to accept responsibility online. Log in on time for virtual lessons. Of course, that is the #1 way to be responsible with virtual learning, being there on time. Complete all of your work and turn it in on time. So don't just do half of it and then click turn in so you can say it's done. Actually do all of your work, accept responsibility for what you have to do. Do your work independently and do not copy off of other people or the internet. Since your teachers are not going to be right there monitoring your every move, you may get tempted to just take something off the internet or do something with a friend. It is still considered cheating, and the cheating policy for Coastal still applies. All of your work should be done on your own. And then speak up for yourself when you don't understand and do it respectfully. So if you really don't understand, you need to accept responsibility for your learning and ask for help or arrange to come to your teacher's tutorial in the afternoon. We don't just want to shrug and say, oh well. Accept responsibility for your own learning and ask for help. And doing it respectfully, remember to ask, may I please have some help, or I don't understand this, can you please help me? Don't just say, I don't get this. That goes back to our being patient and respectful to our teachers and classmates. And finally, how to reflect online. Proofread everything before you submit or post it. That includes even comments in the chat. We're in school, so we don't want to write you as the letter U, or your as the letter U are. Go back and proofread, make sure that you are writing correctly and professionally. Read the feedback and comments that your teachers leave on your work. Your teachers are spending a lot of time reading all of your work and leaving detailed comments to help you improve, since we're not in class to tell you those comments. Please read them. Reflect on what your teachers wrote and how you can apply whatever feedback they gave you to improve in the future. Make corrections to your work and resubmit it when your teacher gives you the opportunity to do so. So your teachers might not always give you the chance to turn things back in, but if they do, feedback they gave you and then make those corrections and resubmit it, reflecting on the work you did in order to improve. And if your teacher corrects or redirects you, try not to get frustrated or upset about it. That's really easy to do even when we are in school. Sometimes if we do put our best effort into something and then we still didn't get the grade we wanted or the praise we wanted, it's really easy sometimes to just get frustrated or upset. But try your best not to do that and reflect on, okay, well, based on whatever they're telling me, how can I apply that to improve and get better, and so that I can get to where I did want to be. And that is it. So these are just a few ways that you can soar online. There might be more. If you have some ideas of some other ways that you can soar online, you can always send them to me or Miss Fell or maybe your homeroom teacher. Maybe we can get a really cool Padlet or infographic or something going of all the different ways that you can soar online. But these are just some of the basics. I hope that y'all are enjoying virtual learning. I miss seeing y'all's faces in person, especially if you are someone that I taught last year or the year before. Hopefully we can see each other in the building again soon. Bye, guys.